learners. In this lecture, we are going to see how to model a roof inside Revit. So let's get started. So in order to check where the roof is, you need to access the architectural tab, and under the build panel, you can find we have a roof tool, right? So when you click on this drop down, you can find these stuffs that are linked with the roof element when you are dealing with Revit. Okay, so you have firstly the roof by footprint, then you have roof by extrusion. This is roof by face, and we have few like additional stuff that are linked with roof. Okay, like soffit, fascia, gutter. So basically, we'll start by creating the skeleton, which can be done by using these three tools. For now, we will be covering these two methods of modeling the roof, and whenever we will deal with massing, we will have a look at roof by face as well. Okay, so let's get started. So firstly, in order to use a roof by footprint, you need to access, means you can model it in 3D as well as in any of your floor plan view. Okay, so in 3D, you need to go on top view, like selecting the top on the view cube, and you have to access the plan view inside 3D. Okay, or else it's better to go to any of the floor plan level where you can identify the uh, basic outline of your roof to be modeled. Okay, so here we have this kind of geometry already built. So I need a roof to cover the top of this portion. Okay, so my level 1 ends here, level 1 begins here, and it terminates here at level 2. So I can use level 2 floor plan. So I can have all the walls that are terminating visible here, or even I can use level 1 as well. So there is no issue as long as you are able to trace the outline of your footprint exactly as the way you need it. Okay, so I'll go to level 2 or maybe level 1 and just use roof by footprint tool. Then you have this kind of interface. Here we have the drawing tools that are available at our disposal, and like the first, it's the Revit is asking you to create a boundary line. So you can create the boundary or the outline of the roof using all these tools, which we have seen in the earlier lectures as well. Okay. And in the properties, we have the type of roofs, that is the family's basic roof. And these are all the types of roof that are present here. For now, we'll go with generic 125 mm. Okay. And the base constraint here, like the association, as we have seen in this part with respect to wall as well, like we need to set the base constraint here. So for now, as our roof would be at level 2, so we'll give the base constraint as level 2. And for now, we'll keep all the things by default. Okay. And when you check the edit type, you have the same interface that was visible for all other elements as well. Okay. So we have the family name and we have the types of various kinds of roof under this family. So, and we have the construction here, that is the structure. We have graphical appearance here, identity data parameters here. So you can have this edited as per your preference. So inside the structure, when I go to edit, you can have, like you can see, I have a single structure of 125 mm thickness, as the name suggests, generic 125 mm. So you can add many layers as required by using insert, which we have seen when we were dealing with wall and floor as well. So you can have many layers as required. So if you want, you can add couple of layers as finish. Okay, and you can have thickness of 5 mm at each of these top and bottom face. So, and you can even assign the material to it. Then for now, let's keep it as by category. And as we have created 2 layers, so when you check the preview, the overall roof would be something like this: the main core of 125 mm and 2 finish layers at the top and the bottom. So I'll go apply. Okay. So we have a basic roof here, and now the task that is pending for us is to create the outline for this particular roof. Okay. So to begin, we can use line. So you can trace the line using the snaps that are available at the wall edge. So you can have the roof outline made using the line command, or else you can use any of these stuffs. Like if you want the part to be a arc or circle, you can do that as well. So here, if I want the roof part to be in a shape of arc or curve, I can do that as well. And I'll move this further. And I will terminate this here. And I will hit OK, like to finish, and go to 3D and check how is my roof looking. So this is what the roof which we have created looks like. So if you want to see this roof particular only, so you can just press HI to hide isolate all the elements, means hide all the elements and isolate the particular element which you have chosen. So our roof looks something like this. Okay, and you can have any kind of slope like that may vary face to face, like this face may have different slope, this may have different slope, like you can assign those different kinds of slopes even using the footprint method. So just go back, like we want, if you want to go back to our original interface, you can just select here the tool here, and you can just click on reset temporary hide isolate, or else you can press HR on your keyboard to have it set back to default. So whenever you want to edit your roof, you can select that roof and you have the edit footprint mode here available. So I'll go back to my level 1, edit footprint, and I don't want this thing like all the roof footprint that I have created now. Just I'll select everything, select one line, press tab to select everything and hit delete. So there is another method by which you can model a roof using these walls as an outline. So you can use the pick line. So we have the wall line references. You can use pick line. And if you want an offset while picking the line, you can have it as well. If I want an offset of 200 mm, just while picking, before picking the line, you can enter the amount by which you need an offset and just pick line. So you can see whenever I am selecting the external wall face, it's been offsetted by 200 mm. Okay. If you want it to be on this side, so you can just hover your mouse, so it's turn on the inner side, but we want the roof to be at the exterior part, so let's keep it like this. Okay, now you can trim extend the uh, outlines to make it a closed loop. Okay, so with this, when I click on finish, I have my roof generated. So like you can see this. So whenever you are creating a roof, for example, select this one, go to level 1, hit OK. So you can see there are a small triangular symbols that are available whenever you start creating the outline for the roof using footprint. So what does this triangle means? These triangles are nothing but this slope that would be assigned to this particular line. Okay. So whenever I select any particular outline, for example, this one, so you can see there, you can see here as well and here as well, the define slope is on. By default, it's checked. Here also you can see under the properties, the define slope parameter is checked. So when I uncheck this, please notice the change over here. Whenever I uncheck this, the triangular symbol that was present earlier here, and you can see here as well, that's not visible here. Okay, that means there is no slope assigned to this face of the roof. Okay, so whenever I hit OK to finish, now there is a gable end created at this side of the roof. Previously, as there was slope, so we had a sloping face here, but now when I have uh, means disabled the slope for this particular face, so you can see a gable end formed at this side of the wall. So whenever you want to means get it back, go to level 1 and select this line for which we have disabled this slope, and select, or from you can do this from here as well, define slope and hit finish to complete. So you can see the profile is now changed back, like you can see here. We have the profile or the face of the wall in a sloping fashion. Okay, so whenever if you want to change any of these slopes for any particular side, for example, all the faces or all the sides of the roof have a slope of 30 degrees by default. You can see here as well, here as well. You can see it here also in the temporary dimensions. Okay, it's set to 30 by default. If you want the angle to be different for each one of them, you can give that as well. For example, if I don't want a 30 degrees here, I can change it to 25 for this face. I can change it to 20 maybe for this face. I can do it 35 for this face. I can do 22 here. 27 here and 33 here. So let's notice the change on modifying the slope for each particular of the faces. So whenever I click finish, you can see there is difference in slope for each of these faces. So the exact ridge of this roof is now shifted. Like you can see here, previously it was somewhere here due as the angles were equal. Now as there is a difference in angle, you can see the pattern of ridge is now changed. This is because the differential angle that which we have provided to all the faces of our roof. Okay. So if you want to change again, you can modify. If you don't want any roof to be assigned, you can just simply check this box untick. Okay. You can uncheck this box and uncheck this box. So whenever I have no slope here, there won't be any sloping face on this side and this side as well. Whenever I click OK, now you can see we have an open side here and open side here. This is because there is no slope. There is no slope here and there is no slope assigned here. So we are having an open face here and an open face here, that is gable end. So this is how you can assign uh, slopes to various faces of the roof differently. Okay. Select everything and just check this sloping roof, and for now it was varying because all the values were different. And if I want to keep it back as uniform for everything, just what I will do, I will select this line, press tab and select again. So all my lines are selected. Then I will just give a slope value of 30 degrees so that this value is applicable to all the selected entities. So hit finish. Now you can see our roof is turned back to default 30 degrees for each face. Okay. So now let's move ahead, like checking the parameters here. So to better understand these things, it's like we can go to any section. So I have this section, go to view. So my section 3 is open. So whenever I click, like this was my our created roof. So you can check we have a base offset from level. Currently it's set to 0. So you can see the base of this roof is exactly at level 2, which is our associated level. Okay. And if you want to change the height of roof with respect to level 2, you can do it by assigning the base offset value. Okay, for now, if I give a 500 value, so my roof is lifted by 500 mm with respect to level 2. If I give a negative value of negative 200, so it dips down by 200 mm with respect to level 2. Okay, so this is the function. And then you have construction type. Like for now, the rafter cut is set to plumb cut. So if I make change here by to cut plumb, notice the change that is happening at the ends. See, initially it was set to plumb cut. The edge of the roof or the end of the roof is looking something like this. So if you want to change it, you can use to cut plumb. So notice the change that is happening. Okay, so you can have this as well. And if you want to, like, without going to edit footprint, if you have a uniform slope throughout, you can even change that slope from the instance parameters under dimension, that is slope available. So you can have a 35-degree slope and it's applicable to all the sides of the wall, all the sides of the roof that is available. Okay, instead of going to footprint and changing individual lines, you can have the slope change from the properties here when the slope is uniform. Okay, when there is a non-uniform slope or the slope varies from face to face, you need to go to edit footprint and assign that particular value to that particular face. Okay, for as you can see, as we have changed the slope in the properties, you can notice all the slopes of all the lines are now set to 35-degree slope. Okay, so again going back to section 3, now you can see my both, like I just keep it back to column cut. Okay, now we can see the both ends of my roof are lying at the same level. As you can see here, this one and this one, for example. Okay, but when there is a means when a user needs a differential in height, like this end to be present up or down with respect to this end, so we can do that as well. Okay, for example, these both ends are at same level, like you can see here with I have drawn a reference plane to demonstrate it. So both the tips are at same level, but when what if I need this face or this side of roof to be present up or below this face, or there is elevation difference with respect to this face, so you can do that using the footprint edit. Okay, so go back, select the roof, edit footprint, select the outline for which you need the elevation difference. So I'm seeing this section from left to right. So this is my end. So I need this line to be shifted up or down. Okay. So I go to section again, and here we have offset from roof parameter, and that's applicable for individual line, not the entire roof. Okay. So whenever I change the value here, for example, if I give a value of 250 and hit apply and okay, now notice the change. So this side is still where it was originally placed, but the one which you have changed here is lifted up by 250 mm as we have entered the offset, base offset for this. You can see the changes in 3D as well. Okay. So whenever you have elevation difference to any of the roof face, you can lift that part up or down as per your requirement. So this is how roofs are modeled using footprint. In the next video, we will check how to create roof by extrusion. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class.